France is a very popular nation in Rise of Nations. Of course, it's not the strongest, considering it can be attacked by Germany and the UK in the beginning of the game, but it has its strength. There are two ways to play France in my opinion, Colonial and Expansionist. In Expansionist, you will basically be killing all of Europe, and in Colonial, you will basically be killing half of Africa. Of course, you can continue if you want, but that's basically just what I'm going to be covering. Expansionist is more of a reactionary gameplay. You are going to react to other players' action. For example, if Germany attacks Belgium, then you will not attack Germany immediately at the beginning. But if he does not attack Belgium, then you will attack Belgium. And Colonial is pretty passive, in the fact that you just only attack AIs, only attacking players sometimes, or if they attack you. But let us begin. Excuse me if I talk too fast, but you have to understand there's a lot of things going on and I can't talk slowly because then I will just lose focus and everything. And because this gameplay is very reactionary, meaning that I have to react to other players' actions, not every game will be the same. You may experience a different game compared to mine, but they follow the same structure. So let's begin. Justify on Monaco and Andorra to get their 75 million treasury, which is very valuable at the beginning. Split your troops into 2 stacks and move 70k into Monaco and 60k to Andorra, and build 1 extra infantry unit. And also get factory output too. Build the factories, 1 electronic, 1 fertilizer, 1 steel and 1 motor, because you want to build 3 civilian factories later on. Get massed attack after you've built the 10k infantry, get the random group. Declare on Andorra and Monaco, and auto capture. You also want to merge the stack that's split up. Justify on Belgium and Netherlands. And you can also start buying resources at this point. Of course you can wait because they won't really be useful until you get civilian factories, but it might be good to get tanks early on. Now the wars are done with Monaco and Andorra, so immediately start getting all the money from them. And build 3 more civilian factories. Very important. And then build 1 extra motor factory and 3 more civilian factories. This is basically the basic setup for any France game, whether it be colonial or expansionist. You can also get government spending to maximum. Even though you get in a deficit, it's still worth it because you get extra political power. So now attack Belgium and attack the Netherlands, justify on Luxembourg and justify on another nation. We're not gonna be attacking Germany yet, so in this case I'm justifying on Italy because they're an AI. If Spain is an AI, you can justify on them. If both of them are players, then you can justify on Algeria or Tunisia or Morocco. Just justify on a neighbor with a decent population. Now just auto-capture Belgium. And of course, sell your consumer goods when they're ready. And now they got ready, so we're gonna be selling them. 140. India's an AI, so I'm gonna sell all of them to India. And now you can start spamming tanks, which we love. Just spam that shit. Of course, Germany might seem scary, but we're gonna justify and attack them in the next war, so they should not really be a big threat unless you see them attacking Poland, Liechtenstein, Austria and Czechia. Then they might be a threat, but at this moment they're not really much of a threat. Annex Belgium, get their money, and start building even more tanks. Just keep building tanks whenever you can or have the money. Don't really build more civilian factories at this point in time, because most of them will all have been sold to AIs. But it's kinda worthless right now. You want to use your money for the war in Germany. You can also build a aircraft manufacturer if you want, so you can prepare and build attackers to eliminate some annoying stacks, because we're gonna be using a lot of our manpower in the next coming years, so yeah, be prepared. And now we are finally gonna be attacking Germany. I know they are AI, but I am still attacking them like I would against a player because this is a guide after all. And the reason why I didn't go for the capital immediately is because they had troops entrenched there. If I attacked them, they would be pummeled and killed immediately. So that's why I went for Hamburg first and then their capital. You can easily cripple Germany by just taking the Rhineland, because they will most likely just spam troops or tanks if they have that. And if they have tanks, then they're screwed when you take the Rhineland, because you're gonna be removing a lot of their manpower they used to build tanks or start constructing tanks. And when you take their cities, the construction is basically kaput. It stops. So you just took away like 100,000 free manpower, or depending on how many they started constructing. Now the world is just gone to shit. I attacked Spain, but they were allied to Britain, and Britain were allied with Italy. Now in your case, you will always attack Spain or Italy. You can also attack UK, but attack the one that has no allies. I just attack them all because I don't like wasting time. Just kill them one by one. And it should be very easy. So for example, attack Spain, kill them, annex them, then go for Italy, kill them, annex them, and then go for UK. I have a bit of more difficulty because I'm attacking all of them at the same time, but it's still fine because you have a lot of tanks. Your preparation and when you kill Germany give you a lot of economy, so it shouldn't really be a problem. Just keep spamming tanks, and against Britain use artillery in the English Channel to prevent them from building any large ships, and build your destroyers and put them in the North Sea. Now I'm just finishing up them. I'm just waiting for and building more tanks and then just auto-capturing immediately. You can also declare on any leftover countries in Europe, for example Poland, Czechia, Austria, any countries that are easier to invade and very quick to get, and they all give easy money. So in this case I'm attacking Poland, because the UK is occupying them, so why not just take them both? Easy, easy. Now Italy is done, so I'm just gonna annex them real quick. And the way to kill UK is just overwhelm them with pure numbers. Get a navy, get artillery, and just put them all in the capital. Also use planes, because planes are OP, and not a lot of people use them. Yeah, now the game is pretty easy. You've just killed all of your enemies, and your expansion route is now completely open. You can attack anywhere you want. There should not really be much of a difficulty, except if every other superpower is allied together and they start attacking you. In that case you might be fucked, but that's very unlikely. Now since we want to form the Napoleonic Empire, we're gonna have to attack Switzerland for their one city, but since we don't like doing diplomacy, we're just gonna be invading them completely and eating them up. And the reason for why I'm not annexing Spain is because I also want to annex Britain. It's not a problem if Switzerland or any other minor nations are allied to superpowers or big nations like Russia, because you just have to take them out real fast and then quickly annex them. You will get a truce with every co-belligerent in the war, so it's completely fine if the big powers occupy some of your lands in the process. You just have to take out the country you're invading, in this case a very small one. And now we're done, so we're gonna of course form Napoleonic France, and now your options are completely wide. You can not even form Charlemagne, you can form the Franco-British Union, get some extra stab, you can also invade and form the European Union. Now Byzantium was a bit rude to me, so I decided why not, let's just attack them. Just overwhelm with pure numbers, and that's basically it for the expansion. Get a big navy like an aircraft carrier, they're super OP, there's nothing in their way to stop them. and you can afford them at this point. But take the doctrine capital fleet before you do that, because they give a nice reduction in cost. Yeah, but that's basically it. You can just attack Russia if you want, but of course they decided to scorch their entire land. I don't understand why the people do this. Scorch the land I'm invading, not your entire country. It's just annoying, it proves no strategic value, and you're just a big toxic douche. And as you can see, I was about to go on a fucking rampage in the chat, but I decided not to, because I am doing a guide and I'm not here to argue with someone over why they should not scorch their entire country. But alas, we killed them either ways. Just take your capital and they can do nothing. And yeah. Just do some things, no one can stand in your way. You're very strong. Yeah, and here I'm just showing what you can do. You can some inspiration for what you want to invade, inspiration for what you want to form, whatever. Also justify on nations while you're conquering stuff in Europe, so you can conquer them later, so you don't have to waste time justifying. That's why fascism is very broken. Next, the colonial game. The setup is basically the same as the expansion one. The only difference is that instead of justifying on Belgium and Netherlands, you justify on Tunisia and Algeria, and move your troops there in accordance. Move your infantry to Tunisia, and move your tanks to Algeria. And also attack Morocco. Now the process is pretty simple, just invade AI nations. Instead of being reactionary, like the expansion one, Colonial France is more of a passive style. You just invade AIs. That's why it's a good idea to get some arid specialization for some in Africa, and some jungle specialized troops for Indochina, around 4,000 to 5,000 if you're going to Vietnam, Cambodia and Laos, because they might be a player, and that's pretty bad. To not waste any time, we're gonna be using 3 expansion routes. 1 in the Gold Coast, 1 in North Africa, and 1 from French Indochina. Now there might be some problems like Spain or some other country, or rivals taking land you need. Of course, you can just invade them, but in my case, the USA decided to create a faction, which is a big problem, and it's super annoying. So you can either wait until they leave the faction or the game and tell the faction leader to please kick them out of the faction, or you can just invade the USA. But it might be best but the best option for beginner players is to just leave the game. A USA player creating a faction immediately is just so annoying, so you're just better off to leave the game. Here you can see that some players in the faction have decided to take some more of the colonies I need, which is annoying. But you know, you can just always attack if they aren't in a faction. They aren't really a problem because you can just tank spam. Like I said, 4,000 to 5,000 jungle specialized tanks is enough. But if they decide to retaliate, then just get a navy and start pummeling them. And that's basically about it. Unlike the British one, there isn't really much to worry about. The only worry I would see is like Germany or the UK, but they are pretty weak, and the only way for UK to attack you is through the English Channel. So just build destroyers, artillery, everything you can put in the English Channel without dying, and you're fine. And for Germany, build forts, build a line, or just ally them if you are scared. Now it's just about finishing and attacking AIs, and I think you know how to do that. Just occupy a city, the infantry will move to yours and they will die, and then just auto capture. You can follow my path of expansion because I think it's the fastest. Of course there might be some faster, but you know, this is a beginning guide. I'm not doing it too fast, even though it might seem like that way because the video is sped up. And yeah, if your rivals leave, just attack them. Like UK here taking some colonies in Guinea. I need that, so I'm gonna invade their entire country. But at this point I was getting super bored. There was a lot of cities I needed that were occupied or taken by other countries, like Spain, that was in the faction, and since I don't want to invade the USA, I decided to leave. That's basically what you want to do if you want to form the first French Empire. Now some tips and tricks for playing as France in Rise of Nations. The first trick and tip you really have to use if you're playing in Europe is knowing who to attack. So if Germany is allied to China, as there was in my game for example, it's fine to attack them. You might be scared because it's China, they are super strong, they have like 10 times your population, they're super big, they're like second in ranking. Yeah, all of that shit. But there's nothing really you have to worry about. They will take a long time just coming to your nation. And even if they occupy all of your nation, as long as you take out Germany, you can immediately peace out and just annex all their land. Except for China, of course, because you didn't kill them. The same is for USA. If USA is allying Luxembourg, just kill Luxembourg and then peace immediately. You will get a nice truce with USA, so you don't have to worry about him. And this is also a very annoying mechanic in the game, truce breaking or truce killing. You can just declare an AI ally of someone, and then immediately peace out with a white piece. And then you're in a truce with everyone that was in the war. That's how you avoid fighting superpowers before you're ready. Another important tip when playing France is to only use tanks in the beginning. You're gonna be suffering a lot of manpower issues, so it's very good to just use tanks because they are more cost effective. You get a strong economy in the beginning because of consumer goods, so you don't have to worry about money. The only thing you have to worry about is manpower, and that's why we went for mass attack in the beginning, because we're not going to be using infantry. That's only going to be used for tall gameplays, and tall gameplays are very much fun, but I'm not going to be explaining them here. And now, the final tip for France I'm going to be sharing to you today is to attack Germany as soon as you can before they get tanks. Germany is like your big threat. The UK, not so much. They're over a channel, you don't have to worry about them that much. Just build artillery and some attackers, and they won't really be able to do anything about that. And they will most likely be scared. But if they immediately attack you at the beginning, then oh god, it's a 1-in-1. You're usually gonna win. You took out Monaco and Andorra and got a 150 million treasury, so you can build more civilian factories and get 10 times their economy, and then just spam tanks, and you win. It's their fault and their loss. After killing Germany, there isn't really much of a threat. Russia is too far away, USA is annoying, but I don't think they will attack you. If they do attack you, then I feel sorry for you, but it's very rare. You can easily deal with Spain, you have a very large border with them, so just spam tanks again. All of this is just tank spamming. Europe is a mess. Blah.